Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful blue planet. We are joined today from Florida by Susie Ellis, the co-founder, chair, and CEO of the Global Wellness Summit, the chair and CEO of the Global Wellness Institute, and Kristiana Tarnuzzer, the director of development for the Global Wellness Institute. Ladies, thank you so very much for finding the time to join us today to talk about wellness for all.
Thank you, Jean-Guy. Thank you for having us, and congratulations on all the exciting things you have planned for your great wellness weekend.
We will continue speaking about wellness for all. So many people think that wellness is for all who can pay, the clients, the guests, the members, but we focus with World Wellness Weekend about wellness for all. Yes, the guests, but also the staff, the local community, and nature this year with a big partnership with the World Cleanup Day. My first question would focus really on the guest. And every year, the Global Wellness Institute, among the many publications and research that they share with the world, publishes trends. Susie and Kristiana, would you like to each share one trend that really caught your attention this year, or that you see coming and that maybe could be in next year's trends, that you would like to talk about on how resorts, hotels, spa, fitness clubs are innovating in wellness for guests and members?
I have in front of me, actually, because I'm in my office, this is the report. It's the Future of Wellness 2024 Trends. We always do this report in January. And so there are 10 trends in here. And when I look at them, I think one of them that I think is very exciting for clients, and I'm seeing it more and more, is the one this year that we call sports finds its footing in hospitality. We're seeing that, wellness and hospitality and sports have always been a little bit siloed, and that is changing because wellness now includes a lot of recovery, which was very much part of sports. And so it's coming together. So I think that the emphasis on sports is something that's very exciting for the wellness community. Now,
Kristiana, what is the one trend that caught your attention this year?
Longevity.
Aha.
Yeah. Somebody on a call recently mentioned, well, is it really a long life that we want to lead, or is it a healthy life that we want to lead? And they used the word health span, right, Susie, instead of lifespan. And that really caught my attention too. So I know even, now, I've been paying so much attention to the Blue Zones and watching that documentary and that series, and just really, it's so top of mind for me in the way that I'm going throughout my day and the habits that I'm coming into, and really, again, just thinking, it's not just about living long, but it's about living healthy.
Totally agreed. And months ago, you did publish the 2024 Wellness Policy Toolkit about wellness in tourism, not just wellness tourism, wellness for the visitors coming to beautiful exotic destinations, but wellness in tourism, wellness for the professionals. We have examples of companies, corporations that are really going above and beyond to promote wellness for their teams. Susie and Kristiana.
One example that comes to mind, because it's such a great example, is the Breakers, which is a property here in Florida. And they have such an outstanding wellness workplace program for their team. And it's been around for 12, 13 years, that to me, it's like the poster child of workplace wellness, because they really engage their team members and their families. It's not just the team members, it's the families. And they have done so much, and they've invested quite a bit of money. But the bottom line is they have hardly any turnover, because people stay there. And in a resort setting, usually you've got lots and lots of turnover of team members. not at the breakers. And when you go to the breakers, you can feel it because everyone that's there, first of all, they're pretty happy, but also they've been there so long, so they can answer questions. So they have a love for the property. They know the history and so on. So they make that very clear on their website, how much the team matters to the executives there, and it really shows in the bottom line, which makes it worthwhile for the company to continue to invest in workplace well-being.
Totally agreed. I remember attending the Global Wellness Summit at the Breakers a few years ago, and not only is the property absolutely stellar, but the team was really really shining, and I have never seen a meaningful guest experience without meaningful staff experience. If they believe what they do, if they feel taken care of, then something happens, and they are the experience in a beautiful setting. But the setting, the multi-million-dollar property, is not the experience. It is part of the experience, and the people are truly the conveyors, the alchemists of that. Kristiana, any example you would like to mention about HR and team programs to really foster wellness on the workplace?
Yeah, I would say the Global Wellness Institute and the Global Wellness Summit. As a team, we were recently on a retreat where we were able to go and really go deeper on our, sponsor for the Global Wellness Summit, but spend time together. And that is something that, Susie and Nancy have made a real commitment to do for the team and get us together, because we are located all over, once a year at least, to get together and spend time with each other and do exactly that, retreat. And at the retreat, some very consistent answers came out of what we love about working for this company, and it was the team ourselves, but also we start every single one of our team meetings, which we host every single week, with a gratitude moment, and I think that that's just something very special. I don't know many companies that do that, so
Thank you. Early this year, you organized in New York a real estate conference, and Richard Gere was one of the speakers. I'd love to dig a little deeper into what's in it for communities. Sure, great properties, great resorts, great hotels, great teams, but what about the local community? How do they benefit from this wellness wave, wellness trends that we are seeing? Susie, Kristiana.
Involving the community actually makes it more fun. It makes it just more of a win-win. It used to be in the very beginning that a lot of these communities were gated. You put a gate around it, and if you go into it, then you are in a wellness community. But if you're outside of the gate, then you're not. And what communities have learned is that, the gates are not so necessary. Invite the community to some of the classes, or if you have a restaurant that's healthy, invite the community to incorporate some of, the experiences. So more and more, we're seeing that the communities are recognizing the value of their surroundings. So I think that's a good trend, and we're seeing that more and more, and I think it's exciting. So watch that space, because the wellness real estate community bubble. We have the bubble chart that shows the number of the revenue per year in each of the 11 wellness sectors. It was the highest growth sector over the last many years, including during COVID. So there's a lot of appetite for people to live in places where there's wellness as the community focus. So there's just going to be more and more of it.
Absolutely. What was your takeaway, Kristiana, from that summit or from the research that you see? I'm not asking to unveil what Ophelia and Catherine and the other fellow researchers are going to announce, although if you want to share a little something, you can, because I'm French and it is my duty to try. But what is your takeaway with global, with wellness communities around the world?
One thing that also stood out to me at the Wellness in Real Estate Symposium that we hosted in May in New York City with Richard Gere, he actually said that when he was, forming his project in Mexico, he went to the community and asked, what would you like to have? What could make this a more impactful project for the community? And so that was really beneficial. It just makes it that much more authentic and integrated into the space when he, it's not just putting something out there and thinking like we're doing it right and we're going to put it here. It was actually including the local community and getting their intake on what would be most beneficial and valuable for them. So I loved that, to see the collaboration between the project developer and the local community.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially when nature is revived, when districts of cities are reclaimed, and bike paths and nature and parks are created for generations to come, and to have activities and moments to enjoy together. Let's talk about the Global Wellness Summit, because we are early September, and in just 8 weeks, November 4, 5, 6, and 7, the who's who of hospitality, wellness, spa, fitness, and so many other bubbles will be meeting at the Off Golf Course in St. Andrews, Scotland. There's a list of speakers that haven't been unveiled, others haven't. Maybe Susie, you'd like to tell us who we will be lucky to meet and hear and meet up close and personal, because I've seen Jeremy Jonesay, the disruptor influencer with beautiful destinations, but I cannot wait to hear about other names. Susie?
We have a few, surprises happening. So I'll just highlight a few people that Jeremy Johnson, as you said, he has wellness destinations. He is a major influencer. He really knows how to use social media. He's very much about wellness. And so he's going to be there talking about, the things, what he brings to the table. And he's going to speak, but he's also going to be interviewing the head of the WTTC. So the travel and tourism head will also be there. So clearly, that's important now to travel. Years ago, Jean-Guy, you go back with me a long time, the travel market was not all that keen on wellness. They thought, well, is there really a market there? Well, now, especially since COVID, almost all travel has some wellness aspect to it. So now people want to know more about the economics of it and how to do it better and so on. So he will be there. A few others, Simone Gibertoni, is that how you say it, Jean-Guy? From Clinique La Prairie. He's going to be there. And Clinique La Prairie is, a very high-end but very influential brand that has been around a long time, and they're opening in more places, and they're bridging this medical and wellness piece in a very interesting way. And like Kristiana said about longevity, that's a lot what they're doing. We also are going to have a very interesting person, David Osprey, who is the father of biohacking. And so he's going to be with us. And, biohacking, I'm seeing it on more and more agendas. And biohacking, we know, is a little controversial, but we don't shy away from controversy. We like to start conversations. So he's going to be there, and we'll be able to ask him some questions. And Wim Hof is going to be there. And he is a person that a lot of people know, who's very much into, the Wim Hof method of, hot, cold, mostly cold. So, and then we have Louis Schwartzberg is going to be there, Martin Palmer, and also Jan Emanuel from Oxford, who is very much about the happiness report. And he's going to talk about what they know from their research on workers and happiness. So I think that's going to be very interesting. This year, our theme is a watershed moment for wellness. So we are focusing on water in a couple of ways. One is about all the water things happening at spas, and that is, the ice baths, the contrast therapy, the thermal springs. Water is a big part of spa and wellness conversations, but also our commitment and the importance of our industry being cognizant of what we do in terms of helping nature with water. So we have some speakers coming on that I think, they're outside of our industry, but they are going to tell our industry how they look at us and what they would suggest that we do. So anyway, we always have about 50 people on stage. Jonathan Leary from Remedy Place is going to be with us for the first time on stage. Neil Jacobs, Sue Harmsworth, a lot of people that others know. We have a 17-year-old that's going to be on stage. Futurists, always of interest to people. And so I would just say, people should come, those who would like to come. And then on our website, we'll also be sharing things from the summit for those who might not be able to make it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Kristiana, you've released recently the geography of wellness for Japan. Last year it was Brazil, it was South Korea. So please tell us about the upcoming geography of wellness reports, and also some key figures that maybe professionals in hospitality, wellness tourism, or spa do not expect to find in those amazing reports.
Had quite a few partners that I will actually say all of our partners that have originally been a geography of wellness country partner have renewed with us, which is amazing, because I think it just really shows the value in the partnership in the program. So we were very excited about that, and that includes the United States, Singapore, Brazil, as you mentioned, and Thailand. And then some new partners have been Korea, the UK will shortly be announced. So we're very excited about that. Canada is a new partner that came on board. We have Saudi Arabia that we will soon be releasing. And then, as you mentioned, Japan, Philippines is a new partner since we last spoke, and also excited to say that the Maldives has recently signed on, and you will see their country report released shortly. As for some numbers, I think, the wow number, there's always so many wows and oohs and woes and aha moments at the summit. The wow number is always the overall global wellness economy number. I mean, when it was released that it was 5.6 trillion in November in Miami. I mean, it's just incredible. I can't wait to see what the new numbers are going to be when they're released. But I think the most interesting aspect of the reports is to see, as Susie was mentioning, wellness in real estate is such a new sector, but it is a hot one. Same thing for wellness tourism, and to just see the differences and how they play out in all of the countries is really interesting. And it's very interesting to see who's utilizing these reports for their own purposes, and whether that's, again, investors, analysts, developers. It's very important for them to see the trajectory for these countries in these sectors. So it's really the content and how it plays out that I think is the most interesting.
True, because there's such a wealth of information. I will not go through all of the bubbles, but for each of these countries, and I urge everyone to go see the Global Wellness Institute website, to click on Geography of Wellness, or simply to type on their browser Geography of Wellness, because you really are the ones coining that terminology. And there will be, for every country, information about their regional ranking, their global world ranking, how well they perform in real estate, about wellness, physical activity, healthy eating, nutrition, mental wellness, workplace wellness, complementary, traditional complementary medicine, and so on. Of course, one of the biggest bubbles of all, personal care and beauty, wellness tourism, spas, and thermal and mineral springs. So there's lots and lots of information. We are getting so close to the end of our session. There are so many more things that I would like to discuss. Thank you for carving the time to join us to talk about wellness for all. Maybe we can finish with a group wealthy. Yes, joining those two V's together. Thank you so very much. It's has been a pleasure to reconnect with you today and looking forward to see you in just 2 months in St. Andrews. Susie, Kristiana, thank you so very much.